भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपाकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। विरिक्तश्चेन्द्रियारातो. Is that the one? 61. Yes, text 61. That's right. Viraktaschendriyarato bhakti yogena bhuyasha bhakti yogena bhuyasha tam nirantara bhavena bhajedhata vimuktaye bhajetadha vimuktaye viraktaschendriyarato bhakti yogena bhuyasha tam nirantara bhavena bhajetadha vimuktaye viraktaschendriyarato bhakti yogena bhuyasha tam nirantara bhavena bhajetadha vimuktaye. Viraktaschendriyarato bhakti yogena bhuyasha tam nirantara bhavena bhajetadha vimuktaye. Viraktaschendriyarato bhakti yogena bhuyasha tam nirantara bhavena bhajetadha vimuktaye. Viraktaschendriyarato bhakti yogena bhuyasha tam nirantara bhavena bhajetadha vimuktaye. Ladies. Viraktaschendriyarato bhakti yogena bhuyasha tam nirantara bhavena bhajetadha vimuktaye. Viraktaschendriyarato bhakti yogena bhuyasha tam nirantara bhavena bhajetadha vimuktaye. Okay. Virakta cha, completely renounced order of life. Indriya Rato, in the matter of sense gratification. Bhakti Yogena, by the process of devotional service. Bhuyasha, with great seriousness. Tam, unto him, the Supreme. Nirantara, constantly, 24 hours daily. Bhavena, in the topmost stage of ecstasy. Bhajeta, must worship. Adha, directly. Vimuktaye, for liberation. Okay, so we've got the translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay, so the shlok that we just recited, the meaning of it. If one is very serious about liberation, mukti. If one is very serious about liberation, he must stick to the process of transcendental loving service, engaging 24 hours a day in the highest stage of ecstasy, and he must certainly be aloof from all activities of sense gratification. So we can all repeat. If one is very serious about liberation, he must stick to the process of transcendental loving service, engaging 24 hours a day in the highest stage of ecstasy. And he must certainly be aloof from all activities of sense gratification. Okay, this is a really interesting one for those of us who want to progress all the way, want to go all the way home. So if you are coming from point A to point B, along the way you stop at the shop, or you stop at the train station maybe, or maybe the petrol station, or you take a detour to your friend's house, or you take a detour somewhere else, maybe the theater, cinema or something, mall. So you don't come straight home. So you are taking a little detour. So those of us who are interested in coming from point A all the way to home. So all the way home to Krishna. Along the way, there will be lots of bumps and humps and obstacles. So if you are interested in going all the way to Krishna without deviation, without distraction, this shlok is for you. So let's see what Prabhupada tells us. Prabhupada, in his purport, he has explained there are different stages of perfection according to different persons' objectives. Generally, people are what? People are karmis. That's a very interesting terminology we give to those people who are involved in karma, which involves material gains, not spiritual, so karmis. So generally people are karmis, for they engage in activities for sense gratification. Above the karmis are jnanis who are trying to become liberated from this material entanglement. Jnanis are those who cultivate knowledge, like you are doing this morning. You are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So yogis are still more advanced because they meditate on the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you've seen the yogis in the movies, they sit and they meditate on the lotus feet of the Godhead. And above all these devotees, so there's different stages, above all of these devotees are devotees who simply engage in transcendental loving service of the Lord. They are situated seriously on the topmost platform of ecstasy. In other words, they are constantly serving Krishna. And they are not doing yogi things, and they are not doing karmi things, they are not doing jnani things. They are simply serving with love, transcendental devotional service. So here, Dhruv Maharaj is advised that if he has no desire for sense gratification, which means material things, then he should directly engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The path of apavarga, or liberation, begins from the stage called moksha. So that's when this starts. In this verse, the word vimukte, for liberation, is especially mentioned. If one wants to be happy, if you want to be happy, I think we all want to be happy. If one wants to be happy within the material world, he may aspire to go to different material planetary systems where there is a higher standard of sense gratification. So we'll talk about that. Because you are allowed to want to be happy and enjoy material satisfaction, actually, according to this purport. You can. But that means you won't go back home, but you will stick around and enjoy yourself. So we'll talk about that one. So where there is a higher sense of sense gratification, but real moksha or liberation is performed without any such desire. So this is explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by the term Anya Vilasita, shunyam, without desire for material gratification. For persons who are still inclined to enjoy material life in different stages or in different planets, this stage of liberation is in bhakti yoga is not recommended. So this is saying that there is a place where you can go and have fun, but that place has got no place in bhakti yoga. In other words, it is not compatible. Bhakti yoga means bhakti to Krishna. So if you want to go out there and have fun, then you have to sacrifice your bhakti to Krishna. That's the thing. So terms and conditions to bhakti. So let's continue. Only persons who are completely free from the contamination of sense gratification can execute bhakti yoga. In other words, those people who don't have the desire to have fun and enjoy in a different way. Now there's a condition there too. In bhakti yoga you can also have fun. Bhakti yoga is actually the highest form of ecstasy and fun. Did you know that? It's the highest form. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But bhakti yoga is actually the path to take. So those who are completely free from material contamination, they can perform bhakti yoga or the process of devotional service very purely. So the activities on the path of apavarga up to the stages of dharma, artha and kama are meant for sense gratification. But when one comes to the stage of moksha, the impersonalist liberation, the practitioner wants to merge into the existence of the Supreme. That means you want to be one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But that is also sense gratification. Did you know that? According to this purport. If you want to be one with the Lord, that is for your own desires. So having something with for yourself is not selfless. And so you are not, that is also part of sense gratification because you want it for yourself. So when one goes above the stage of liberation, that means you go higher than that, and that you can go higher than that, did you know? You go above the stage of liberation, however, he at once becomes what? One of the associates of the Lord to render transcendental loving service. This is technically called vimukti. So there's mukti and then there's vimukti. So for this specific vimukti liberation, Narad Muni recommends that one directly engages himself in devotional service. So we are going to discuss about that, how to be above the rest, how to be, at a stage where you can be above even mukti. And that is the purpose of being Krishna conscious. And that is why we have Hare Krishna devotees. And that's why Prabhupada established the Hare Krishna movement to give us enlightenment, give us knowledge, different types of processes we can go through, and really what is the ultimate, the highest. So very quickly, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So before I say anything, I'd like to ask you all, who here would like to go back to Krishna? All the hands should be up. My friends, you are here to see Krishna. You don't want to go to Krishna. So, if you don't want to go to Krishna, then probably some other place might be nicer for you because that's what you aspire. So, this is really the essence of Krishna consciousness, very essence. We devotees were telling everyone, go and chant Hare Krishna, go and sing Hare Krishna, go and see the deities. Why you do it is because you all want to get out of this miserable life. Because somebody once said, we were talking about lotto, winning the lotto. Hare Krishna people, devotees, they don't do gambling. We're not supposed to. So buying the lotto tickets is part of gambling, so we don't do it. And my spiritual master also, he told me once in a letter when I questioned him. He said, it's better you stay away from lottery tickets. Don't mess around with that. Why? So the question is, with $1 million, say, well, these days $1 million is nothing. Let's say $10 million. So with a $10 million, you will inherit what? 10 million problems. you'll inherit 10 million problems. This is a real life situation where this millionaire in England, in the UK, he has a lot of money, but at night he can't sleep. He has no peace, no anxiety, because he has so many enemies. He is, falling over himself to actually protect his millions of dollars, because there's always people trying to get it from him. His life, his children get kidnapped. So there's a lot of problems with it, associated with it. So material gains. Let's try something a little bit different, which I don't normally mention, but I will. For these purposes, because this is about sense gratification, say that you want to have a lovely wife or a lovely husband, if the word terminology lovely applies to a husband. So you will get that. Krishna will actually, Krishna, did you know, he grants wishes? So you will get what you want. But with that comes a lot of problems. A lovely wife might give you a lot of hardships because there might be many people chasing her, or, for example. I don't know. But there's always a terms and conditions attached to this material life in sense gratification. That's what I'm trying to say. So then what is the answer? Why are people happy and then they are miserable? This is a world of duality. So Narad Muni here is trying to actually preach to Dhruv Maharaj. He's a little boy. He's being told, don't have sense gratification. He's very small, but he is a Kshatriya. And they have a tendency to enjoy to the fullest. And they have opulences, they have a lot of money. And Narad Muni is preaching to him, don't go for that, because that's not going to get you what you want. So why are we all singing Hare Krishna, and why are we all practicing Krishna consciousness? So we all have our individual tailor-made plan for each other, of each one of us. You're all here in it for one reason, and that one reason is Krishna. Because you understand that Krishna is God, and he grants wishes. He's the magical genie, the ultimate magical genie. He gives you what you want. And then you realize, once you get what you want, it's not so much fun anymore. It's just not much fun. And then you think, well, where's all the fun? All the fun, here, according to this purport, even if you are a jnani, means you collect knowledge, which is what we do. We know everything about the Shastras, Vedic. It still will not give us happiness. Nah. Did you know that I've been giving classes for so long and I don't really know my shlokas by heart? None of them. So if somebody says quote something from the Bhagavad Gita by heart, without looking at the book, I can't do it. Yet I'm giving classes because the books are there, so I can refer to the books. But that's not what I'm saying, that I'm placing importance in, no importance in Gyan, knowledge. The essence that you should understand what it means. Not that you should recite the shlokas, Actually, it is a requirement. So my Guru Maharaj will not be very pleased if I say I don't know my shlokas by heart. But I do understand the meaning of it. That's the whole point. You understand the meaning. So collecting Gyan is not much help unless you apply it. You understand it and then you apply it. So if I say, theoretically, fire is bad for you, it's going to burn you. You write it in a notebook, that's knowledge. But if you don't apply it, you're going to get burnt one day because you didn't stay away from the fire. So here you're being told, Narad Muni is telling Dhruva Maharaj, don't go for these little, small happinesses. Sense gratification is not going to satisfy you. So I had actually planned on giving a certain structured class, but it's gone in another direction. So I was going to actually tell you what kind of liberations they are. And this is all theoretical, and it's knowledge for those who want to, collect information. There are actually 5 kinds of liberation. Did you know? Mukti. 5 kinds. And this is, I'll just name them. This is in Chaitanya Charimrita, Madhya Leela, 6.266, if you want to know. So there are 5 kinds of mukti, liberation, 5 kinds. One is Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, Shasti, sorry about the pronunciation, and Sayujya. Now what they are, Shalokya means that after material liberation, one is promoted to the planet where the Supreme Personality resides. So that means you go to the planet where the God is and you reside there. That's one liberation. Second is Samipya, which means you remain as an associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's second. Sarupya means attending four-handed form exactly like that of Lord. It means like Vishnu form, four-handed form. So that's third. And Sharsti means attaining opulences like the Lord. That means you attain just like attain wealth and all the opulence, living style, the kingdom, that kind of thing. And Sayujya means merging into the Brahman, effulgence of the Lord. So how many of you have seen Krishna? Cool. Have I seen him? Yeah, you see him every day. You see him every day. He's there. I took a class last week. Was it on Thursday? And I said, yeah, these are not dolls. They're not dolls. They're not lifeless. So and someone said, oh, get out of the way, Prabhupada. He can't see Krishna. Of course he can see Krishna from wherever he is. You don't have to, get out of the way. Prabhupada is with Krishna. He's sitting there, but he's also on the altar. So I find it a bit strange to say you move out of the way so he can see Krishna. He can see Krishna all the time. So yes, what I'm saying is yes, we have seen Krishna. Now the second thing is, have you seen the effulgence of Krishna? Maybe not so much. Effulgence is the light that surrounds him. So sometimes I get dreams. So it's a very long time ago, before I even became a devotee. I was chanting. And somebody told me somewhere that if you close your eyes, you're going to see, you close your eyes and meditate, you're going to see the person who is most dear to you and most beloved to you. So I took that very seriously because I was a young girl and I was very impressionable, and whoever said whatever to me, I used to believe. We are like that at a certain age. So I sat down and I closed my eyes and I meditated, and guess who I saw? I really tried. I saw nothing and no one. But I really tried and persevered. I think it took me all night or something, because I thought there has to be somebody. And then all of a sudden I saw something for a fleeting second. And it was somebody who was bent in three forms: neck, waist, and feet. Who was that? Bent in three places. Who's standing there and bent in three places? Krishna. He's holding the flute, his neck is like this, his waist. So he was bent in three places. There was no mistaking that there was Krishna. But he was surrounded with so much light, I could not really see him. It's hard to see him. But you can see his form. So, and I thought, but I was supposed to be a staunch devotee of Lord Shiva. So where did Krishna come from? So that was a revelation right there. So what I'm saying is the effulgence. I'm talking about the effulgence. Krishna is surrounded by so much light, and one of the liberation is you actually merge into that light. You become part of the light. So you just sort of hang there in suspension or something. That is the worst kind of liberation. Nobody wants it. It's really boring. What do? Just hang around there in light and float. I don't really know. I've never been there. Otherwise, I would not be here if I was there. But then you do come down. So there are 5 kinds of liberation. Now, after that, we had a little bit of a conversation, and I said we'll discuss it, about wanting or being allowed to enjoy material life or sense gratification. And we as living entities, Krishna aims to please. He gives us everything. He facilitates us so that we can have whatever we want. Did you know that? So you go up to the deities and say, I want a Ferrari. He might give it to you. Try it. But with a Ferrari, you'll inherit some problems too. It's a condition. This world, duality. Anyway, so you can. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10.10.20, there is a very nice explanation there about these 2 young men, Nalakuvera and Manigriva. Who are they? Well, they are the sons of the treasurer of the demigods. Who's that? Kuber, the one who holds all the money. And he has 2 sons. So they have a lot of money. They're very rich and opulent. So Manigriva and Nalakuvera might have been a living entity like us. small ones. They aspired to go higher. So they performed all the austerities. They went there to the planet. They became sons of Kuber, the treasurer. And the thing is that they had a lot of fun in the higher planets. You get to enjoy so much that they forgot about bhakti. So they were swimming in this river with their clothes off and with a lot of beautiful ladies there. And Lord Shiva happened to come, and all the ladies covered up and ran away. But Nalkuver and Manigriv didn't. So they got so drunk on their material sense of gratification, they went to higher planets. You can do that. If you really want to enjoy your life, you can. You can ask Krishna there and he will tell you, okay, yeah, you can go to the heavenly planets like Nalkuver and Manigriv, and you can be the granddaughter, grandson of Kuber. Have some fun. But they actually got cursed by Lord Shiva because it had become like trees. They didn't hide their nakedness in the river when they were having their fun in the river. So they became trees. But because they were good people, if you can put it in one way, they had the opportunity to reform themselves and come back to bhakti. So they said, okay, well, you can be trees for so many thousands of years, but Lord Krishna, when he comes down in Dwapar Yoga, he's going to liberate you from the tree form of a tree, and you're going to go back to where you are. So these two, Nalkuver and Manigriv, actually got a blessing in disguise. They got to see Krishna in real life. So don't try it at home though, but if you really want to see Krishna do something bad, so you get cursed and then you get to see him because he'll come and save you. No, don't try it at home. But they were lucky. So this is what happens if you do aspire to go to a higher planet and enjoy. You could end up like Nalkuver and Manigriv and then become trees for thousands of years, because with every blessing comes at terms and condition. You have to pay the price. So they were sons of the treasure. They had a lot of money, wealth, but then they forgot about it and were disrespectful to Lord Shiva, did not hide their nakedness, so they became trees. And then they were saved. So that's one example. And another example is a really good one, which we don't have time for, but I'd like to say it very quickly. What is a Sobri Rishi? He's a Muni. He was meditating under the river in Yamuna. And what he had done is what we are trying to do, and what Dhruv Maharaj is being told: renounce everything and forget about sense gratification. So he went in the Yamuna to take everything away. No women, no this, no that, no that. In the river, there's no opportunity to be distracted. So he got himself in a private, secluded area, and he was meditating there. And what happened to him? Well, he committed a Vaishnava aparadh. So Garuda is a Lord Krishna's bird, and he is not a vegetarian. He goes and eats everything. So he used to eat snakes, and he used to also eat fish from that Yamuna. And Sobri Rishi said to him, "Don't eat the fish here." But Garuda, what he did, he actually respected the Rishi, and he said, "Okay, but I'm hungry. I'll take only one fish." But the fish that he took to eat was actually the leader of all the fishes. So Sobri Rishi Muni got really angry because he took the biggest fish to eat, and he cursed Garuda. He said, "If you ever come to Yamuna, you will die instantly." So Garuda, he needs to eat. That's his food. So instead, he was also eating all these serpents and snakes. That's his delicacy meal for the day. He goes Sharira Vidya Jal, and then he eats all these snakes. So he used to, on the other side, he used to also eat snakes. So Vasuki, who's the leader of all the serpents, used to see Garuda eat all these snakes and said, no, that's not good. He went to Brahma and he got a boon. And Brahma said, "Okay, Garuda, you can only have one snake." So they used to offer one snake to Garuda under the tree. Garuda used to go, have that snake, eat it, and go away. Because what he used to do is he used to leave many snakes there uneaten. He used to kill them, and they did not like it. So what happened is Kalyanag was also there, and he got a bit envious. So the offering they left for Garuda, Kalyanag used to go and eat that himself. So they had a bit of a fight. Now, um, actually, I might be giving you too many details. So, Kalyanag and Garuda are now enemies, and they had a fight, Garuda and Kalya. And what happened is Kalya lost, Garuda won. So Kalya had to run away, and he knew this curse that in this Yamuna, if Garuda went there, Garuda will be killed. So Kalyanag went and resided in Yamuna. And because he had so much poison, he was poisoning the Yamuna river. Krishna had to come and dance on him and chase him away. In the meantime, Sobri Rishi was also in that Yamuna. Now, Sobri Rishi, remember we are trying to talk about renouncing everything and going to bhakti and transcending all the liberation, going to Krishna, right? So this was Sobri Rishi's aim as well. Remove all the sense gratification, material, life, just focus on Krishna bhakti and remove yourself from all the distractions, so he goes in the river. But in the meantime, he committed Vaishnava Prad and cursed Garuda. So Garuda couldn't go in Yamuna river. So then what happened? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. You do a karma, you get a reaction. Equal and opposite reaction. So Sobri Rishi had to, he committed a mistake, so he had to get the karma, the phal for it, the fruit for it. So what happened was, while he was in the water, he saw these two fishes being romantic with each other. They were creating little baby fish. So he saw the fishes and he felt the urge to do the same thing with a lady. So suddenly he started feeling desire for sense gratification and material gratification. So he also fell from such a high level. Imagine meditating in the water, and he fell. So then what happened is he got out of the water and went to the king and told him, I want to marry your daughters. And he looked very ugly because he was in the water for so long. His skin was all gray, his hair was all gray, he was all scraggly looking. Who could marry him? So there's a pointer there. If you want to get married, please improve your appearance. It's for the brahmacharis. Because if the ladies see a brahmachari, they will not marry one because you are in your dhoti. I'm sorry. But you are in the right position, that you are with Krishna. I'm telling you that because I was a young girl myself once, and I used to look at the boys in dhoti, and they did not look really good at that time. That's me as a teenager, sorry. So Sobri Rishi, he went to the king, and the king, because he was a rishi, could not refuse him or offend him, because he would have, karma back at him. So he said, any one of my daughters, he had 50 daughters, by the way, any of my daughters who accept you, you can marry her. So then Sobri Rishi looked at himself and thought, I look like this and nobody's going to marry me. So he had these powers, mystic powers. He went and he improved his appearance. He came out looking like very handsome guy. Who's a handsome guy in these days? I don't know. Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger or Brad Pitt or somebody like that. I don't really know. Looked good. So the 50 girls who looked at him, they all accepted him. The 50 princesses, they all wanted to marry him. So he married them all. He married them all, and he had the greatest life. Because he was a yogi, mystic, he could have palaces, opulences, you name it, he had it. He could have had a planet for himself. So much money. And he enjoyed with these ladies, 50 wives, and he had 100 sons out of each one. And then one fine day he was sitting down and he thought, what have I become? His entire motive of going back to Krishna was totally destroyed, 100%. All because of one Vaishnava Prad. So that is the terms and conditions. So the lesson for the day. But he did resurrect himself. He left his wife. He went to the forest. He meditated. He got what he wanted in the end. He went back to Godhead. And his 50 wives also, they followed him. So they also got the benefit. So there is another story in that is, if you really want the benefit, marry somebody who's in a high level stature. So you get 50% of the reaction or the fruits of the activities. So that's why in Hare Krishna community, we are recommended to marry another devotee. That will ensure that you are protected. So that is the story for the day. 5 kinds of liberation, what Dhruva Maharaj was being told by Narad Muni. And what happens if you digress or divert? And the biggest cause of diversion is Vaishnava Prad. So try not to curse anybody, try not to fight with anybody, try not to make enemies with Vaishnavas. If you have, say sorry to them. That's the biggest. And if you can't, serve them and be happy and chant Hare Krishna. Thank you for listening. I've got to go to work, so no questions. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam Puran ki